Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Daily Dose of Good News. I'm Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could be with us. It is Thursday, December the 4th. Excited about today's program because it features someone from my hometown here in Mississippi. Dallas Anding is someone I've seen not only to grow into a great family man, but also someone who's a talented entrepreneur as well. Had a chance to feature him in Mississippi Success, our magazine that we have published on Amazon. But he joined us on Wednesday, October the 29th, to share a bit of his entrepreneurial journey, his beginnings, and what you all can take away from it. Enjoy today's conversation with Dallas Andy. So your company is called Deluxe Custom Installation. So tell us, how did it all start?
Well, it started back when I was younger. Just things around the house would break, and I guess me and my mom we had an agreement that once something was broken, that I could try to fix it.
Hmm.
She would probably say I might have started the process a little early, but she gave me an '81 Cutlass Supreme when I was 15. I got my license, and it was time to drive, but there was no radio. The radio didn't work.
Mm.
And so I said, how am I going to pull up to school? Or I was going to Jackson State, the Upward Bound program at the time.
Okay.
So how am I going to pull up over there and I don't have a radio? I can't turn. So uh, I ended up teaching myself basically how to deinstall the one that was in and put a new one in there.
Mm.
And from there, it just kept, I started doing it for other guys in the neighborhood.
Mm.
Hooking the amps and systems and all that kind of stuff up in the cars. And eventually it led me to getting on with direct TV. I started doing satellites and cable. And eventually I had enough customers that were asking me, hey, do you know anybody who mounts TVs, do surround sound? Because we're getting all this stuff hooked up. I'm like, I could do this stuff. But I didn't have the confidence at the time to tell them that, hey, I can do it. But so eventually, I tried with family and friends doing theirs first, and then, it just went from there.
Wow, that's amazing. And it's been great watching you grow, Dallas. So have you always been a person looking to solve the needs of others? You just talked about what you would do for yourself, but have you always known you want to help other people too?
Well, all at the same time, once I did it myself, somebody would be like, can you help me? Can you do this for me? And in turn, I started, going around. I was hooking up VCRs for people and
Mm.
set the timer so people, this was, back in the day.
Right,
So,
right, right.
I'm setting the timer so people could watch their stories while they're at work and stuff. And a lot of people started noticing it. So I just, kind of branched out, and it's still to this day, that's what I do every day. I go by, and sometimes I just, show people how to use their remotes or
Right.
equipment that they have and things of that nature. So yeah.
That's such an interesting point because a lot of times we buy stuff that we don't know how to use, right? Because so what talks about it, right? So it's great. Well, one of the things I did when I was prepping for your segment, Dallas, is I went on and did what everyone, probably not everyone, but I look at reviews. I like to read reviews. So the reviews, of course, for Deluxe Custom Installations are great. How does it feel to know you have exceeded the expectations of those who trusted you with the work you do?
um, Man, it's real empowering and humbling at the same time.
Mm.
Uh, to know that people take the time out their day to actually not only tell others about you, but like to go online. And a lot of time to leave those reviews is not that easy.
Right.
And I've seen some people or heard some people say, I was trying to get your review, but I just gave up because I couldn't figure it out. So I really appreciate the time and the thoughts that people actually do that.
Mhm. So I think it's interesting. That goes back to how we started the conversation. So you started Deluxe Custom Installation. When did you believe that you could be a business owner? You talked about you doing things for other people, but what made you say, you know what, maybe I can create a business out of this?
Um, well, I was a lead technician at a company that I worked for 7 years, and I was just basically I was the first employee that they had in Mississippi,
Mhm.
and just the day-to-day operations. I was basically running everything from uh, open to close, and so that kind of led me to believe that, hey, maybe I could do this for myself.
Wow.
Um,
And so that leads us then to the fifth question we have for you, Dallas. Are those who grew up around you surprised by what you've done? I mean, I saw you grow up. You're younger than me. But are those around you surprised by what you've done?
Um, I don't think so. I think a lot of people, like I said, the they saw me start doing the radios and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, doing cable, things of that satellite, things of that nature. I was going to people's houses I grew up with and installing their TVs and things of that nature. So I think uh, most people have known that I've had the ability. You probably remember the record company me and my friends started,
Mm-hmm.
um, just from I guess I was good with the music and the sound, so they
Right.
uh, asked me to join just mainly for that kind of stuff. So I think people have seen, those who grew up around me have seen that I just had I was talented in some of those areas.
Love that. So that brings us to the bonus question for you then, Dallas. Question number six. How do you see the business growing moving forward? You've been able to do so much. How do you see the business growing going into 2026?
2026, we're just picking up more contracts. I think a lot of out of state companies are looking online. They're seeing the reviews, they're seeing the web page, and they're reaching out to have me do certain projects. Um, and I think most of it is just growth in that area, just getting more contracts, more work, and just keeping it A+ rating with the
No.
Better Business Bureau.
Well, Dallas, let me say, man, I'm so proud of you, man.
I
Not only
appreciate
because
it.
you're from my community. Oh, my mom says, hey, she's watching you. She says, thank you.
Hey,
She said,
Auntie.
she said, good to see you. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's watching on. We were gonna try to get her here, but plans changed, and so she's watching us on Facebook. So glad you could join us, Mom. Again, everyone, Dallas Andrew, let's give him a hand, everybody. All right. Dallas, thank you so much for being a part of our big day. Also, thank you for all that you're doing and showing people what's possible when it comes to pursuing something that you love. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Daily Dose of Good News. We'll be back with you guys on Friday for this next wrap up of this week. Until next time, make sure you guys continue to pour good news into others so that you can be a source of good news for them as well. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.